What if the world was born from the body of a giant? What if a goddess repaired the sky with melting stones? What if a god watches your every action from your own kitchen? Welcome to Chinese mythology, where every deity holds a story more powerful than imagination. We open the gates and step into a world of gods who built the universe and still live in legend. Let's step into their world and discover the deities who turned myth into eternity. Fuxi. Fuxi stands among the earliest figures in Chinese mythology and is often linked to the Mythic Age described in the Classic of Mountains and Seas, an ancient collection of geography and legend. Many stories place him alongside his sister and consort, Nuwa, pointing to a time when the world was newly formed and still fragile. The legends portray Fuxi with the upper body of a man and the lower body of a serpent, often entwined with Nuwa's serpentine tail. He sometimes holds a carpenter's square, symbolizing structure and harmony. Stories claim he observed patterns in nature, especially the markings on a dragon horse emerging from the Yellow River, which inspired him to create the 8 trigrams. These symbols later became the foundation of the Yijing, the book of changes used for divination. Fuxi's role centers on culture and order. He is credited with teaching humanity, fishing, hunting, marriage rules, and the writing of music, acting as a civilizing guardian of early society. Shennong. Shennong, known as the Divine Farmer, occupies a revered place in early Chinese mythic history and is frequently mentioned in ancient agricultural lore. Rather than being born a god, he is remembered as a sage king whose extraordinary contributions led later generations to venerate him as divine. His story belongs to the era of the 3 sovereigns, semi-legendary rulers who guided humanity before recorded dynasties. He is traditionally shown with a transparent stomach and a body sometimes tinged green, holding stalks of grain or medicinal herbs. Legends recount that he personally tasted hundreds of plants to test their properties, enduring countless poisonings to discover remedies. From this devotion emerged the Shennong Benkeo Jing, an early pharmacopoeia attributed to him that catalogues medicinal substances. His sphere of influence covers agriculture, herbal medicine, and marketplace regulation. People believed he taught farming techniques, crop rotation, and trade standards. As a benefactor of sustenance and healing, Shennong embodies nourishment, resilience, and the intimate bond between humans and the earth. Pangu. At the heart of Chinese cosmology lies the figure of Pangu, whose story explains the very creation of the universe. His legend appears in later mythological compilations, such as the 3-5 Historical Records, a text that gathered ancient oral traditions. Accounts describe him as a colossal hairy giant, with horns, clad in animal skins, and wielding a massive axe. According to myth, the cosmos began as a chaotic egg. Pangu slept within it for 18,000 years. When he awoke, he split the shell apart, separating the clear yang energy that rose to form the sky from the heavy yin that settled into the earth. Each day he grew taller to keep them apart. After his death, his body transformed into elements of the world, breath into wind, voice into thunder, eyes into sun and moon. His role is that of cosmic architect, a sacrificial creator whose very being became the structure of reality. Chang'e. Chang'e belongs to the rich tapestry of lunar mythology in China, her story most fully developed during the Han Dynasty when celestial myths flourished. Unlike primordial deities, she began as a mortal woman who later attained immortality through extraordinary circumstances. Her tale intertwines with that of Hou Yi, the heroic archer who shot down 9 of 10 scorching suns. The moon goddess is often envisioned as a graceful woman in flowing robes, drifting toward the moon with a jade rabbit at her side. According to popular legend, Hou Yi received an elixir of immortality from the Queen Mother of the West, a powerful goddess who ruled over paradise in Kunlun, a mythical mountain realm. To prevent it from falling into the wrong hands, Chang'e drank it herself and ascended to the moon. Her domain became the Lunar Palace, where she embodies longing, immortality, and feminine grace. During the Mid-Autumn Festival, people honor her as a symbol of reunion, love, and the bittersweet cost of transcendence. Yanluo Wang. Yanluo Wang appears in Chinese religious imagination as the ruler of the underworld, a figure influenced by Buddhist traditions that entered China during the Han Dynasty. His name derives from Yama, the Indian lord of death, yet over centuries he became distinctly integrated into Chinese folk belief. Tradition portrays him as a stern magistrate, wearing a judge's hat and official robes, seated behind a desk in a shadowy court. Texts describing Diyu, the realm of the dead resembling an underground judicial system, depict him presiding over trials of souls. Scribes record each person's earthly deeds before he assigns rewards or punishments. Yanluo Wang's function is moral adjudication. He governs one of the 10 courts of hell, ensuring cosmic justice. Through fear and reverence, believers viewed him as a guardian of ethical order, reminding the living that actions carried consequences beyond mortal life. Zao Jun. Zao Jun, the kitchen god, occupies a central place in Chinese household religion and popular folk belief. Rather than emerging as a primordial deity, he began in legend as a mortal man whose life of misfortune and repentance led to his elevation as a domestic guardian spirit. In time, Taoism placed him within the heavenly order, where he answers directly to the higher gods. He is commonly represented as a dignified official in red robes, sometimes accompanied by his wife, with his image pasted above the household stove. Stories tell of a man who mistreated his virtuous spouse, lost everything, and in shame threw himself into a fire, only to be transformed into the spirit of the hearth. Because the stove was the heart of family life, his presence there symbolized moral oversight. Each year, just before the Lunar New Year, families offer sweets, so his report to heaven will be favorable. Zao Jun's role centers on protection, morality, and domestic harmony. He watches over the family's conduct, acting as both guardian of the home and celestial informant. Ziwang Mu. Xiwangmu, known as the Queen Mother of the West, is one of the most ancient figures in Chinese mythology. She first appears in the classic of Mountains and Seas, where she is portrayed not as a gentle queen, but as a powerful and fearsome deity of the Western Mountains. Ancient descriptions speak of her with a leopard's tail and tiger's teeth, while later art shows a regal woman enthroned, crowned with elaborate headdresses and surrounded by peaches. Her palace lies in Kunlun, the mythical western mountain considered a paradise of immortals. Legends recount her cultivation of the peaches of immortality, which ripen only once every several thousand years and grant eternal life to those who eat them. She presides over longevity, transcendence, and the gathering of immortals. Within Taoist cosmology, Ziwangmu embodies supreme yin power and serves as a celestial hostess to sages who achieve spiritual perfection. Erlang Shen. Erlang Shen appears in later mythological literature and popular religion, particularly in Ming Dynasty novels such as Journey to the West, a fantastical narrative about a monk's pilgrimage to India. Unlike primordial cosmic beings, Erlang is often described as a heroic figure who attained divine rank due to his extraordinary feats and filial devotion. Various regional traditions offer differing accounts of his origin. He is typically portrayed as a handsome warrior with a third eye in the center of his forehead, clad in armor and wielding a three-pointed spear accompanied by a loyal celestial hound. One well-known legend tells of his battle against a great flood dragon, which he subdued to protect the people. The third eye symbolizes his ability to perceive truth and see through deception. Erlang Shen functions as a guardian deity and martial protector. He defends against demons, upholds justice, and represents righteous strength. His image often appears in temples dedicated to protection and valor. The Three Pure Ones. The Three Pure Ones hold the highest place in Taoist theology. They are seen as primordial expressions of the Tao, the fundamental principle described in the Tao Te Ching, a foundational text traditionally attributed to Laozi, the ancient Chinese philosopher regarded as the founder of Taoism. Together, They represent different aspects of cosmic creation and spiritual authority. They are envisioned as three serene, bearded sages seated upon thrones of clouds, dressed in flowing robes that shimmer with celestial light. The first, Yuanqi Tianzun, represents the origin of the universe and presides over the beginning of creation. The second, Lingbao Tianzun, governs cosmic laws and sacred scriptures. The third, Dao De Tianzun, identified with Lao Zi in divine form, transmits teachings to humanity. Together, they occupy the highest heavens, beyond ordinary celestial administration. Their role is metaphysical, rather than interventionist, embodying creation, revelation, and the sustaining order of existence. The Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor holds the highest position in the celestial order of popular Chinese religion and Taoist belief. His importance increased during the Tang and Song dynasties, when ideas about earthly emperors influenced how people imagined the heavens. Some traditions portray him as a compassionate ruler who attained supreme divinity after countless ages of spiritual cultivation, rather than as an eternal, primordial being. He's depicted as an imperial sovereign wearing dragon-embroidered robes and a flat-topped crown adorned with strings of beads that hang before his face. Legends relate that he was once a prince devoted to virtue and spiritual discipline. After enduring trials and perfecting compassion, he ascended to rule heaven. His court mirrors that of an earthly emperor, complete with ministers, generals, and officials. The Jade Emperor governs gods, spirits, and natural phenomena. He oversees cosmic order, administers justice, and maintains harmony between heaven and earth. For many believers, he represents supreme authority and moral governance in the universe. Guanyin. Guanyin occupies a central place in East Asian Buddhism, especially within Chinese devotional practice that flourished from the Tang dynasty onward. Her name means the one who perceives the cries of the world. She is the Chinese transformation of Avalokiteshvara, a bodhisattva from Indian Mahayana Buddhism, a tradition that emphasizes compassion and the salvation of all beings. Over centuries, this originally male figure gradually came to be understood in China as female. She is most often shown as a serene woman in flowing white robes, holding a vase of pure water and a willow branch, sometimes standing upon a lotus blossom rising from the sea. Scriptures such as the Lotus Sutra describe her miraculous ability to assume any form necessary to rescue those in danger. Stories spread of sailors saved from storms and women blessed with children after sincere prayer. Guanyin's sphere is mercy and protection. She listens to suffering, grants comfort, and guides souls toward enlightenment. Although not a creator goddess, she stands as the embodiment of boundless compassion. Guan Yu. Guan Yu originated as a historical general who lived during the late Eastern Han Dynasty, a turbulent era preceding the Three Kingdoms. His deeds were recorded in historical chronicles and later romanticized in the Ming Dynasty novel romance of the Three Kingdoms, which transformed him into a larger-than-life hero. After his death, popular veneration steadily elevated him to divine rank. He's portrayed as a towering warrior with a long flowing beard, a red face symbolizing loyalty and courage, and a massive green dragon crescent blade resting in his hand. Legend praise his unwavering loyalty to Liu Bei, his sworn brother, and recount miraculous appearances after death in which he defended temples and protected communities. Emperors granted him increasingly exalted titles, recognizing his moral example. Guan Yu functions as a god of war, righteousness, and integrity. Merchants also honor him as a patron of honesty in trade. His cult blends history, literature, and religious devotion into one powerful symbol of loyalty. Mazu. Mazu rose from the coastal province of Fujian, where maritime life shaped spiritual belief. She began as Lin Month, a young woman said to possess extraordinary spiritual insight during the Song dynasty. After her death, stories of miraculous sea rescues led fishing communities to revere her as a guardian spirit, and imperial recognition gradually formalized her divine status. Artists represent her as a calm empress in bright robes, often wearing a ceremonial crown and standing upon waves as attendants flank her. Folklore recounts that as a girl she could foresee storms and guide ships safely home. In one famous tale, she appeared in red light over the ocean to save her father and brothers from drowning. Mazu presides over the seas, protecting sailors, fishermen, and travelers. Her temples line China's southeastern coast and extend across maritime Asia. She embodies guidance, maternal care, and the protective power of faith amid uncertain waters. Caishen. Shishen, the god of wealth, is mainly part of Chinese folk religion and New Year customs, rather than the oldest layers of mythology. Over time, different historical and legendary figures came to be identified with this title, including honest officials and loyal generals who were later linked to prosperity. In many stories, he is said to have once been a mortal whose virtue or loyalty led to his elevation as a god after death. He is typically shown as a smiling official dressed in sumptuous robes, holding a golden ingot, and sometimes riding a black tiger. Popular stories describe him distributing riches to the deserving and rewarding integrity. During the Lunar New Year, households welcome his arrival with firecrackers and offerings, hoping to attract abundance in the coming year. Caishen governs fortune, material success, and commercial luck. Beyond mere wealth, he symbolizes the ideal that prosperity should be linked with moral conduct. His image reflects the enduring wish for both economic security and ethical living. And so the gates close, but the legends remain. These stories are more than ancient tales. They are echoes of imagination, reflections of hope, balance, and the human desire to understand the world. They remind us that mythology is not only about beginnings, it is about what endures. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like and subscribe, and join us for the next legend. Yours truly, Mythos, the Historian.